Hello, good night. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharp. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments now so that I can answer your questions. I have good news today. I just want to come on and share, especially as we approach the holiday season. I want to bring hope. I want you to know that despite everything that's going on, we are fighting here at the law firm for our clients and we are winning. Today, I want to talk about two very big victories that we've had today. So, we just had a marriage based, we just got notification today. We got marriage based green card, which this is extraordinary, guys. Marriage based green card approved after the interview. Interview was Thursday. We filed this on in August. And now what we're seeing is we are seeing them doing the interviews at the forefront and then going ahead and making a decision later on. However, in this case, we filed it in August. Our client got their approval after the interview on Thursday in 3 months. So August to September, September to October, October to November. Our clients are approved. My client will be getting her green card in the mail very shortly. And this was after the interview. We did intensive interview prep, which is key here. And this is where I'm saying there's a lot going on, a lot of policies. I am about to go ahead and send out our newsletter that has all the updates, the important updates, because there's so much going on. But one of the updates is that we are now seeing people are being targeted for detention and of because of past immigration violations at interviews, at immigration interviews. We're seeing this across the board at family-based interviews, citizenship interviews. And so this is where I say make sure you are fully understanding that even marrying a US citizen does not by itself guarantee your success in this process. We look at everything to make sure that our client is solid going through the process. And so in this case, we had a rather intensive process where we sat down with our clients. We made sure everything was ready for the interview. We made sure they fully understood the kinds of questions that they would be getting. And they are now approved for that green card. We also got a T visa approval. And in this day and age, it is much to be celebrated. We got no RFE. Our client was approved directly. And I want to talk to you about the T visa approval for this specific client. Why did this client get approved? This client went through a situation where they were, and it's common. I know if you're watching this, you might be at work right now. You might be going through this right now. But they ended up coming here, being recruited by a contractor who basically hired many undocumented immigrants. And our client was one of them. Our client was then hired by the contractor who sent him to another state, but sent him to that state with certain conditions. He would work as because he had specific conditions about what kind of work he wanted to do and what kind of work he wouldn't be willing to do. Well, in this case, he was sent to another state. Hotel hired him, and the hotel promised him certain, a position, lured him into the position, and provided him housing, and then put him in a completely different positions. But not only that, moved him completely from the hotel that he was expecting to go work, transported him to a whole other hotel, forced him to do work that he never agreed to do, missed his payment, started to not directly threaten, but first of all, he witnessed him call police on other undocumented immigrants. He's the fact that he lived at the on the hotel grounds. They would call him all hours of the night to come and work. And of course, he witnessed people being thrown out if they did not work. These are all forms of coercion that lead to our client was trafficked, and that is a type of trafficking. So if you're going through a situation like that, you are able to get your papers. When I talked to the client and notified our client that he was approved for this card, the work permit along with his T visa for 4 years, he was actually very scared at this point because he had no papers. But the thing about the T visa is you could be here without your papers and still get approved for this if you've been through a situation similar to that. So if you can connect to what I've told you, now is the time, guys, to give us a call. Talk to us about your situation because we continue to change lives here. I just described two victories with everything happening. We still are getting approvals here, but you have to make sure you're not miscalculating the situation. You fully understand the what you're going into, because understanding fully what you're going into can help us to help. What we do is we strategize. You Right now they are applying a lot of complex policies and laws, and sometimes laws that are not very applicable, but you may not know that going in, and then could end up in trouble. End up with wrong information or incorrect, apply for something in an incorrect way, which leads to negative consequences. So just make sure you're fully understanding what you need to be doing to be able to get your make sure that you can get your relief, get your green card, get your work permit here. So all right. So now that I've shared with you these situations, and, I know it's been a while. It's been very, very busy at the law firm as we continue to work to change lives. And we are here. We're backing our clients. We have our clients back. So that's what you need to do. Our clients they hire us to help them take the stress off, help them navigate the complexity of the situations that we're seeing. So don't go it alone. Make sure you are going in fully informed before making any devastating mistakes, because yes, that is happening. So make sure you are investing in your future because it's really required right now. All right. So now that I have I've told you about my good news, I want to answer some questions. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I have missed you all, and I'm so glad that you could join me. First of all, another thing I want to say is just wish you, if you're here in the US, you are celebrating Thanksgiving, make sure that you have a good, safe holiday. And, I'm proud to say this Thanksgiving that we are giving a portion of our earnings to the relief effort in Jamaica. And so far, I believe we're approaching a month. We're at a month, and we have donated so far 133,000 Jamaican dollars to this effort in Jamaica. And we are going to continue to be raising funds to continue to support Jamaica in its rebuilding and providing relief and support to Jamaicans. So if you want to be a part of this to provide donations, go ahead and go to the link in the profile. I've shared the link where you can also donate, because it takes an effort and it's going to accumulate and I'm so proud of this, the fact that we are able to take action in this way. We're giving, I am truly blessed to be able to be a part of people's immigration journey to help change their lives, put families together, fix people's lives here, of course, with God's help, and to be able to now take these blessings that I get to also put it into Jamaica, and in the rebuilding of Jamaica is just another level of it's another level of honor for me to do, because I know it's really hard down there. So use that link to be able to donate as well, so we can continue to provide that support. So happy Thanksgiving to those of you who celebrated. The holiday is coming up. Also, I am also doing this. Anybody who books your own appointment through the link in our profile, Linktree, you will get, I believe, a 33% discount as long as you confirm your appointment through our online system. That's going until December 2nd. So go ahead and use the link to do that as well. And that means that consults. So what we do is we do an initial evaluation, and you will fill out an initial evaluation form. And that helps us because you're still spending money. So we want to make sure you're not wasting your time and money. So by using that form, we can determine whether there is an option that we can help you with. We do have many options. We focus on solutions for clients who are here, they want to stay here and get their papers. As you can see, the two examples I just provided to you, we got those great results and we continue to get great results. So what we do is we make sure that you can fall into a category where we can help you. And then once you get the okay, you can go ahead and book that appointment online. So that we just do that to make sure that we are not wasting your money, that we do have a potential option available to you, depending on the answers to the questions that we provide to you. So you also get that discount. So it would be $105 instead of $150 should you qualify to move forward with the strategy session with our attorney. So go ahead, use that, and just get in touch with us. I am opening the door to be able to provide accessibility to as many people as possible. So use it, and now is the time to share in the blessings and just to give back. So we should do that year round, but now it's a time to really make that statement through this, and we do it every year. So if you've been following me for a while, I do this every year. So go ahead, click on that link tree and book your appointment. All right, so I see questions coming in. I'm gonna start with Instagram and then YouTube, Facebook, and then I'm gonna end on TikTok. I see a ton of questions coming in. I'm gonna get to your questions, so please hang on while I get through each. All right. Okay, so good evening, Sharifa. My company has an attorney for my case, but I'd like a second opinion individually. It looks like you don't offer that. Is that correct? So I don't know. Now, when it comes to if in certain cases, when you're going through an employment-based case, sometimes the employer, the attorney will have you sign a waive your conflict fee. And so that attorney that represents the company, the attorney will make very clear to you that they are not your attorney. If you don't have an attorney because the attorney only represents the company, then we can represent you. If you have signed documents that say that you're waiving conflict of interest and you're willing to share that attorney with your employer, then that's going to be a different story. It means you're currently represented. Doesn't mean that you can't get a second opinion, but we have to make sure we're abiding by the rules of professional responsibility, in letting you know that you'd have to terminate that attorney as your attorney to have us sitting as your attorney. So we have to be very careful about that. So it's not necessarily we don't do that, but we are very careful about following ethical rules. And when you have an attorney already, we want to make sure that we are not coming in and interfering with your current representation. Do you have any promos for consultation? Yes, yes, yes. You'll see it all over the profile page. Go to the link in the profile, schedule your own appointment. So you'll see a link, confirm your own appointment. Click on that, and you'll have an evaluation form that helps us to just make sure we're not wasting your time and money. That there is an option we can help you with. Should there be, then you can move forward with scheduling your appointment yourself. If you schedule your appointment yourself online, not through our phone systems, but online, then using the link, then you will get your consultation fee will be 105 instead of 150. So you'll get a 33% discount. T visa bona fide received in February, no work permit yet. Is this normal? Unfortunately, yes, we are seeing where you get the bona fide. The bona fide is great news because it means that you have protection from deportation. And as you can see on the news, as you can see, there really is no safe space. So when you get this letter, it is very substantial because it means that you're protected. And if you're in removal, it stayed. If you've never been in removal, they're not going to put you in removal until a decision is made. And if you're approved, then you get your work permit and move forward. But we are seeing a delay. So I have seen a delay of 6 months after the bona fide and getting the work permit. Unfortunately, lately I have been seeing them come at the same time, but um, you know in the earlier in the year, I've been seeing these delays. If you're on an H-2B program and have an offer that was agreed upon at a specific rate per hour, is it legal for the employer to alter the rate to a lower rate 25 days within the date you are hired? This is exactly no. And especially if you're in the H-2B program, they are supposed to stick because when they approve the H-2B, they approve the H-2B visa on the basis that what the employer says they're going to pay you, they're paying you. They have to go through a labor certification process. Everything on that application has to be true. So this, my friend, it could possibly be a T visa issue. We've gotten our clients approved based on issues like this. So give us a call. Let's talk to you to figure out if there are any options that may be available to you. But in this case, the employer should not just be altering your rate to a lower rate after you start the H-2B program. They're very strict about the H-2B program. And unfortunately, though, we see a lot of employers who breach that. And once again, this is called trafficking by fraud. So give us a call. Let's talk. This could lead you to other options, independence, in the case that you're going through something that is fraudulent. Good evening. Hi there, Althea. Is anything going for the Melissa hurricane people in Jamaica that needs to rebuild? Yes. So far in the past month, we've raised 133,000 Jamaican dollars, and this is going to be on an ongoing effort on our part. So we're months to even a year from now, we will still be providing a portion of our revenue to the relief effort in Jamaica. Bonafide received in February 2025, but no work permit yet. Is it normal? So I answered that. Can you talk about the way a 21-year-old child can sponsor his or her parents and how long would that take? Yes, so a child who is now 21 years or older and who is a US citizen, not a green card holder, but a US citizen can sponsor their parents, whether the parents are here, you already here, or they're in the other country. If, for example, they're here visiting on a visa, that could possibly be a window of time to apply for that adjustment of status. It could take a few months to up to a year and a half, just depending, even up to 2 years, just depending on what's going on. Where are your parents? Are they outside of the US or they're in the US? It tends to take longer if they're outside of the US. So this is where give us a call, talk to us, jump on it now, because policies are changing. For example, guys, here's one update. They are now looking at when they're not necessarily the green card. Well, yep, they've just proposed new policy changes even on the green card now with public charge rules again. And what that means is they're going to take a more holistic view. So they might use age, the fact that if your parents are aging, they may start to look at their health. They may look at their well-being in regards to whether they're more likely to end up on public support, public assistance. So it's very important now to get guidance based on these new public charge rules that they're seeking to get on the books again. So filling out the forms, going into interviews, within the current policy that's in place, it's going to cause delays again because the officer may question things that really should not be questioned because of the broad discretion that they're going to have under this new policy. So keep that in mind. Time is going, clock is ticking, apply before policies change. That's the key. VAWA done last January, got prima facie and did biometrics. What's next? So last January would be 2024, or was it the most recent January? If that's the case, then you're looking at the next thing would be the work permit. So if you applied for the work permit, I'm not sure if you applied for adjustment of status along with the work permit. I'm married to a citizen and I haven't heard back from US. Is from 2.5 years. So that's a long time. There might be something going on. So you want to check on that for sure. 2.5 years is sort of long to wait for that. All right, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. TVs are submitted June 2025, receipt September 2025. What are the next steps? Usually biometrics will come next about in 2 months. And then after biometrics might be the bona fide determination and the work permit. How long a VAWA take to get approved, please? My sister has 3 years. So I would say 3 going on to 3.5 years now. So the wait will almost be over. TVs are submitted in June 2025. So I answered that. Since the birth of my child in May, my husband has been unaccounted for. I'm sorry. I've tried every avenue to get in touch with him, from personal outreach to contacting family members, but he changed phone numbers, has made it impossible. The 2026 tax season looming and my 2-year green card expiring on August 2026, I'm struggling to figure out how to navigate these challenges alone. What steps can I take? I'm so sorry you're going through this, but there are solutions. So your spouse here sounds like there's an abandonment going on. And in the case, you can apply for a waiver. So we can talk to you about the multiple options. And you can apply if you're applying without your spouse based on a waiver, you can start to apply for the renewal of the green card right now. You don't have to wait until the 90 days before expiration. But we want to hear more to figure out get to the root of the problem and be able to see how many waivers. You may have 1 available, you may have 2 available, you may have 3 available. Now that you have a US citizen child, I know that is a development that has occurred in the last 2 years that creates a hardship for you. So you have options. The bottom line is you have a 2-year green card, you're ready to get to the 10-year green card, but your spouse is not available. There are options to apply. We do this for our clients. So get in touch with us right now. Okay, thank you. Some attorneys, it just depends on what their fees are. We do offer flat fees and payment plans if that works, whatever works for our clients. And right now, we do have discounts going on if you do retain us. We provide discounts to be able to make it more accessible and manageable. So we're now this holiday season, once you qualify for something we can help you with, we are taking up to $2,000 off of our fees, and that is going up until December 23rd. If you start with us by then, we have a number of discounts going on for this holiday season, and that has started already. So get in touch with us and talk to us about what could work for you. You qualify, we want to help you. We're making differences in people's lives, and I want people to have access, because right now it's hard gaining access to an immigration attorney, because we're all it's a busy time, guys, and it's a lot of chaos and things are changing day to day. And I have just been neck deep in it. Based on we have to be responding and making sure that our clients are protected, making sure that we can jump to solutions to help them through this hard time, because it really is a tough time for immigrants right now. All right. Oh, thank you so much, Damien. It's so nice to see you. Thanks for joining. What's the I-765? It's the work permit application. Greetings. How long are VAWA package receipts taking, please? So right now, you filed it in August. Expect up to 4 months. All right, I'm on TikTok. Thanks so much for joining. And I'm going to go ahead and answer some questions here. My husband is a US citizen, but we have 11-year difference. Would you consider that a red flag? Yes, they are looking at 10 years or more in age difference as a red flag. So you just want to, I would say no, marriage based cases in all situations, they're not, no, don't. A lot of people have the misconception, I'll just marry a US citizen and I'll be fine. If you don't fully understand what you're getting into, it can turn into a disaster. But this is a red flag for sure. You'd be surprised what other red flags there are that can be raised in this process. You'll often hear me talking about it, but one is even the documents you submit that you think is great evidence turns into a red flag for the immigration officer. For example, if you guys just quickly, right before you filed, you quickly went and opened up a bank account, but you just put enough in there to open the bank account. They don't see any transactions going on in the bank account. That's a red flag. If you think that you can just include the marriage certificate without just picture marriage certificate and some wedding photos. You have a tiny wedding, and then maybe you go to the park after the wedding. It's a courthouse wedding. You go to the park, you take a couple of pictures, and you have no other pictures. Red flag. So things that you may think make a strong marriage-based application really raises questions in the application. So you have to be very careful in this process, because it can delay longer than it should be going. My sister's VAWA is 3 years. How long will she have to wait? I would say maybe 6 months more to get a decision, and hopefully she doesn't get a request for evidence, because though a lot of those are going out again, request for evidence, and it doesn't mean you can't win your case, but we are winning those RFEs. But what we do is, and it doesn't guarantee success all across the board. But when we get those requests for evidence, just because right now we have an administration that they're questioning everything. And so we respond and it makes sense. So it's credible. they approve, right? But an average person who's not an attorney that looks at these RFEs, it can be very intimidating, and some people give up because it's so intimidating, and they don't know the law. We're able to apply law, look at case law, statutes. Officers are not necessary. Sometimes officers make mistakes, so we have to provide them the authority, the legal authority to see, okay, this is true, right? This is the law that applies. So in this case, they would then change their minds, agree, and then how we know they agree with us, they approve it. So, just keep that in mind. Things are a lot more complex now. NOID. So, speaking of RFE, we have a NOID, notice of intent to deny, received today because of false statement on visa application. Please advise on how to address this. This is serious. False statement on a visa application is insinuating misrepresentation or fraud, and that comes with a permanent bar. Get in touch with, now, NOIDs come with 30-day response time, so it really is an emergency. If you miss the deadline, they will likely deny it based on a missed deadline. So you can always get in touch with us, talk to us quickly. In cases of noise, we really have to look at it to see if it's something we can address and fix and respond to them swiftly on but it takes work. So get in touch with us ASAP. If filing for your parents, you have to be a citizen. Yes, you have to be a citizen. I'm on TikTok now, so go ahead. I'm about to be sworn in, but I want to file for my kids in Jamaica to come here. Do I have to wait? No, it's going to depend. If you're gonna be sworn in as a US as a citizen and your kids are under 20, you don't have to wait. But I don't know your situation, right? So I don't want to tell you specifically. This is where it's so important to get in touch with us. But here's the deal. If you are a permanent resident, your kids meet the criteria to be sponsored, you can sponsor them. And when you become a US citizen, they're going to upgrade it. They're going to upgrade you to US citizen filing for the children. Now, the length of time it's going to take is going to depend on what their ages are. Are they under 21 or are they 21 or over? Yeah, so when you get annoyed, notice of intent to deny, I want you to know that that is not a denial. But what it means is that you must reply within usually 30 to 30 days. You must reply in order to get and tell them why exactly what they're saying is wrong, or what they're saying, they should change their minds on it. Once you do that, we've gotten Noid's reverse to an approval. So it's not the end of the world, not necessarily the end of the world, but these are very specific. And this is why I say always have an attorney from the start. Now you got annoyed. If you have an attorney, talk to your attorney ASAP. Your attorney should be aware of the NOID as well. But this is why you need an attorney, because at the point where you get the NOID or the request for evidence, there's only 30 days to respond. And many attorneys are really busy right now. And so responding within 30 days can be challenging. However, for example, for our clients, they're covered. When they pay their fee, if we get a request for evidence or a NOID, we are able to respond very quickly to that. We don't, because they're already our client. We already know their case. We already are able to jump on it and submit it very quickly within the deadline. If you don't have an attorney starting out and then you get into trouble or complications like this is where things can get messy, because now you're scrambling for an attorney. You only have 30 days and you have to get in to talk to the attorney. In cases of this, we really have to review the NOID or the RFE to see if it's something that we can potentially address and fix for you. And then we have to get on it. And usually NOIDs or RFEs, it means you have to provide extensive documentation in some situations. Usually, where it's complex, yes, we have to be back and forth, do a couple of meetings to make sure we can get it right. So this is where I encourage you guys to make sure that having an attorney from the start is like an insurance policy. If later on you get into trouble along the way, you will be covered, right? There to prepare our clients. Policy changes happen, we're able to advise them on it. We're able to respond to requests for evidence and noise in the process if we get them along the way. That basically changes the results and improves success for our clients. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. I like your live broadcast. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's months now, and I still can't hear anything about my case. What happened? So this is the story of our lives right now in immigration, and this is why I'm so happy to bring forth the good news to let you know there is hope. But for the most part, there are a lot of delays in the process right now. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating for all of us. But the important thing is that when your case is prepared, that you have all the um, safeguards, you have all the safeguards in place. So if something happens in your case, you don't have the stress of getting it denied when it shouldn't have been denied. Our deferred action on work permits back for SIJS. So unfortunately, I haven't gotten any updates on that, and I don't believe it's back. But I'd have to check. How long does it take to get a result when the packet go in USCIS for T visa? So about 3 to 4 months for the receipt notice, and another 2 months biometrics. Then after that, all being well, is if they decide it's discretionary that they're going to issue a bona fide determination letter to provide protection, they do along with the work permit, and then it's taking um, 2 years right now, and it's getting longer and longer for them to review T visas. So the work permit is there to help some applicants get through it. How long for biometrics for T visa if it's past 6 months of waiting? So I would say T visa right now, processing times have gotten longer. It's approaching 2 years now. Work permits. If you are going to get the work permit, bona fide determination along with the work permit, I'd say 8 to 10 months. How long does it take to get a result when the packet? So answer that. Case received May 27, receipt notice September 10th, biometrics today. How long work permit for T visa? So I would say work permits 8 to 10 months right now to get those work permits based on bona fide determination. Keep in mind, guys, that I don't have it down to a science because I don't control the USCIS processing times. I can only go off of my experience. And as you can see, it changes every day. But my right now, what I'm seeing is 8 to 10 months to get the work permit and the bona fide determination. Is the employment-based AOS fast too? It depends on processing. It depends on your priority date, whether you have, is it current, is it not? I would say it just depends. There's a lot of factors that go into it. It can range anywhere from 2 years to, I would say, a year and a half to even up to 3 years, just depending on what's going on in that case. How long does it take to get a result? Okay, so I answered that. Thanks for the gifts. Thanks for the love. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. That's going to be it for me tonight, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me. It feels so good to be back. I had started coming on and then letting guests come on to ask questions. I think after the holidays, I'll get back to that routine where you can join me live. If you want to join me live to ask questions, just hop on to TikTok. I will also be on Instagram where you can hop on live and ask your questions live. I'm not going to do it tonight, but after the holidays, I'll go ahead and do it. Now, have a great, great holiday, everybody. I'm so glad I could come on and share the news. And we are taking, our staff is still going to be available to schedule appointments. You can do that on your own, get a discount. This Christmas, this Thanksgiving through Christmas, we are offering discounts because we want to make our services accessible to as many possible people as possible. So make sure that you're taking advantage of that as well, because right now no case is simple, and I want to make sure nobody makes devastating mistakes that can turn something that's supposed to be from A to B to become very complex, right? So get in touch with us, talk to us, make sure you're fully understanding your case and that you have coverage through this entire process. Thanks, everybody. Have a great, great night and holiday season. And remember, link is in the profile to schedule your own appointment, but also to contribute to, the Hurricane Melissa devastation, the relief effort now that we are trying to help with in Jamaica. We are taking a portion of our revenue that we get in. We are then sending that down to Jamaica through the Food for the Poor charity that's in Jamaica. We're sending it through them so that because they provide relief effort and provide necessities to people as they rebuild in Jamaica. So that's one way to, just contribute and do good this holiday season. So plenty of good things going on. We're sharing in the blessings. We're giving back the blessings, and so take advantage of that. Have a good one. Bye. Have a good holiday. Bye bye.